Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Arnaud St. Paul, and today we're going to talk about life. Why was it important for me to go through the redefinition of life? Well, the question that I was asking myself is, how does one needs to live life, right? What is the point of view, the place from which I can live life on a daily basis, and what is the best way for me to live the best life I can have. So together we're going to go into a deeper understanding of what life is and how I can be the best version of myself, and be the best entrepreneur that I can be as well, of course. So today we're going to go very quick. So I hope that this will help you to grow further. Let's see how we can be a better entrepreneur and change maker. So very quickly, what is WHOS? It's allowing people, helping people, supporting people to change the world the way they see it, the one that is held in their heart. And it is guided by a 30 years research that led to our Heartful method that I created. And the whole purpose of this series is to revisit core concepts of reality to find the optimal way to be the concept. So to be trustworthy, to be in trust, to be surrendering, etc. And today we're rediscovering what life is, and it leads us to very great, very interesting understandings of how we can live our day to day. So the whole purpose of this is to create a more symphonic you, a business also that is more in alignment with yourself, and helping your business to grow and faster and faster. So if you want to join after this presentation, you can connect to tapwhat.com/whosfree or scan this QR code, and you will be able to join us and continue the conversation, have a Q&A with us, and we can explore together what it means in your life. So the first thing that we can understand a little bit further is that, life is made of many challenges, many adventures, many successes, and so on and so forth. And all of them are always brought about and by stories or traumas or beliefs we believe in. So because they are charged emotionally, because they are so important to our eyes, we will again put identification to them, and therefore they will create a bit like this curved space and time. They will create their own space within which we tend to lose ourselves. So if you were to follow your vision moving forward, etc., without these hurdles, everything is straightforward and everything is easy, but we all know that it's not the case. Now, any situation that shows up in our professional life, in our personal life, is the seed of them are trapped in the past or our belief systems. And it creates like a maze that we tend to continue moving inwards. And throughout our life, this maze is going to repeat itself until it has been solved. So what solved means here is that we have been able to let go of the emotional charge that is related to it. And part of the Heartful method has been to understand and practice a simple method that enables us to really live life to the fullest. so that we can go back to our vision. So how do we do that, getting back to our vision? How do we uncharge these beliefs? So people that have attended another session of these have already seen that process, but we'll try to look at it from a slightly different angle so that we can repeat the whole process. So how do we get out of the maze? Well, imagine any situation. It could be a conversation with a partner. It could be the same conversation with a boss, or a challenge happening in your life, a client that falls, doesn't want to continue, or a new client showing up, etc. So whenever there's a situation that is happening, it's usually charged emotionally, meaning that it is difficult to handle. We are in it. We're lost in that maze. All of a sudden, we feel that we don't have any more freedom. We don't have any more choice. And so there is a way to transform this, to really convert this into an opportunity, not from a human standpoint, but more from an inner standpoint. So an opportunity to get into a more harmonious outcome. So let's explore that further. The first step is to accept and embrace, accepting the event, accepting whatever is the message that is being carried out by the event, accepting it as is, because you know what? This is reality as it is, not our perceptions, not our reactions, just accepting what is. So in other words, whenever there's an issue, a situation, push your pause button. You have a big red pause button on top of your thorax or chest. Push it. And so you make a pause and you accept and embrace what is happening now. In other words, changing your focus from being the victim of the situation to say, okay, this is happening. I accept it as it is. And what's next, right? So the what's next is to be able to surrender and trust. Surrender to the situation, because again, it is a situation as it is, and I cannot do anything about it yet because I haven't chosen, I haven't made a conscious choice yet, right? I'm still in that place. It's like when you breathe in and you breathe out, there can be a little space between one and the other, right? Between the inspiration and the expiration. So this whole process happens during that pause. So during that pause, I can surrender and trust that whatever is happening in this moment is perfect. And I accept, again, same thing, and I trust that not only is the fact that if it shows up now, I can handle it. And second, there is a nice outcome out of it. Somehow, I may not see it now, but there is a positive outcome that can come out of it. So surrendering and trusting is very important because it places us in a space of positivity related to whatever is unfolding now. So first we became neutral with accept and embrace. Now we're positively reinforcing a new potential outcome. So now we want to power up that. To power it up, we are going to use forgiveness and gratitude. Not only forgiving the other person or the situation or the company, etc., but also myself for the potential reaction I may have had, or the fact that I put myself in that situation, or etc. So, in other words, by forgiveness, by forgiving, I am reinforcing the neutralization that started with accept and embrace. And then I also add a little twist of more positivity with gratitude, where I become grateful of what is happening now, because somehow, because I trust and I surrender to this, somehow there will be a positive outcome that will come out of it, whether it is a further learning about myself or it's an actual positive outcome where the person changes her mind or etc. We don't know, and it does not matter. But the gratitude will help us twirl a little bit further in that direction. So it is quite important to go. And if we want to go exponential, then we get to the last step. And the last step is compassion and love, where I am able to grow out of the box of that specific situation and see all the different aspects of that situation and have compassion and love for it. Compassion of whatever unfolded, compassion for myself, compassion for the other person, and compassion for the life that has brought me there, right? And love is the same thing. So it creates a more compassionate and love life, right? And it creates also more harmonious outcomes, not only from a perception standpoint, but also from an actual manifestation standpoint, in the sense that all of a sudden you have freed yourself from a very limiting pattern that was being expressed at that moment. And I am getting access to a lot more that is available now for its expression. So in other words, by going from a place of automated reaction to a place of conscious choice, where I choose a more positive potential action and not reaction, that will lead one way or another, whether immediately or later on, to a more positive outcome as well. So this is very important, because when you do that, you actually jump into a new version of yourself. You jump to a new octave of yourself that brings about new or more potential, so more probability of potential outcomes or positive outcomes. So to summarize here, accept and embrace the situation will deprogram the belief, neutralizing the charge to get out of the gravitational pull to repeat the patterns and start from a neutral state. The surrender and trust of myself, the unfolding, I trust the new choice. The ego gives way to the outcome. And again, I am placing myself in a more positive potential in any case. And forgiveness and gratitude of myself, the others, the situation, help me to be better, to learn, to grow as well. And last but not least, compassion and love is felt towards the whole situation. I've all of a sudden put myself out of the problem within which I was kept into, and I am viewing what is available there. So this is in essence an infinite dance from between I and self. I is, your daily vehicle throughout this life, and self is this other aspect of me that is there always silent in pure love. And we are always dancing between one and the other. This is what we call life. So from the box of the I, this ego that has its walls and that are very rigid at first, and then they can become more porous as we go along, as we drop these beliefs and these mazes we were talking about earlier, brings me closer and closer and helps me to live more my own self. And that self we're talking about is that infinite aspect of I. It is the huge potential that there is to grow, whether from a business standpoint or individually within you, and enabling the highest potential expression of yourself. So it is, I believe, the best approach you can have for your own life, every single day, every single moment. So as you can see here on the left, as we grow into higher and higher frequencies, on average, we choose to experience more and more, or less and less grief and apathy and fear, and more peace. And the higher you are on average on this chart, the more you live yourself. So this is this idea again of resonance, the resonance that enables me to grow, right? So in other words, every single situation you're going through has the potential of expression of a series of emotions. And here we took just one example, superficiality, and that I could express very easily or upset, or being upset, or hating, etc. Now there is another vibration higher in the octave range that would express a easier to a lighter emotion, like in this example, self-assurance. Now there is still another one. So it's a bit like these matrushkas, these Russian dolls, where each time there is another expression of something. It's a resonance, right? And so within the scope of this emotional scale that you see on the left, we can start to see that maybe, how would I put it? Fear is a lower vibration than courage, which would be more or less on the same line, and courage a lower vibration than joy, right? So in our case, superficiality leads to self-assurance that leads to presence. Presence being the ultimate expression of this range of emotions that we can express. So when we do this process, when we go through it, we actually can choose consciously which emotion we want to enact. And this is a key to every single aspect of your life. This is the key to your success as well. So let's work together to figure out how we can express this better, okay? So now we're going to read the poem that is related to life, redefining what life is. So if you'd like, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Tick-tock. Time passing by. Flick-flock. Moments after moments. Learning to fly. Joyful steps of discovery into one's heart, carried by the wings of my dreams, one lip at a time. Climbing my way in rhyme, I surrender to thy beauty. I yield to thee. Lead the way, mold thy clay, so that I can be the best expression of thy love. So this poem that comes from my book, I is Born, indicates here that maybe to really live life to its fullest and to the best, highest expression we can have, one aspect is to learn to fly, to be in joy, but also to know how to surrender and live that dance to the best of our ability, meaning feeling the rhythm of life and being in flow with it, in harmony with it, in alignment with it. And that is how we can lead our life and mold our life so they can be the best expression of our love. Food for thought. And now, if you want to join us to our live Q&A, we shall continue the conversation. See you there.